How to do numerology reading? Do you find yourself looking at the clock right at 11:11? Thinking about that colleague you just met who was born on the same day of the month as you? Or how come you see your lucky number appear in the most unexpected of places? The only way to answer what you seek is doing a numerology reading. What is numerology? It is important to understand what numerology means. Wherever you go and whatever you do, numbers influence your life in one way or another. Either it is the amount of money that you make or the flow on which you live. Numbers play a huge role in everything. In simple words, numerology is the study of numbers. According to numerology, there are certain numbers that are actually associated with specific themes or traits. These numbers help provide you with insight on future events, personality, and the greater purpose in life. Relationship between numerology and astrology. Numerology and astrology go hand in hand. If you come to think of it, numerology is actually a great companion to astrology. Numerology does not just reveal how one feels, but it truly enhances the understanding of the self. It can even reveal the age of someone's soul. Make sense of recurring digits with numerology, as it is a great tool. The thing about numerology is that it looks into every single detail and uses it, such as your home address, your first and last name, and so on, in order to derive details. It helps you see patterns in everything. History of numerology. Synchronicity and numerical repetition has been observed since the beginning of time. There are Kabbalistic studies of Jewish mysticism that explore the recurring digits that are found in the Old Testament, and the Chaldean numerology that is based on the practices of the ancient Babylonians. Numerology has been used throughout history, which shows that it is important to use it now as well. There is a connection, a rather sense of feeling that we have towards numbers. Most of numerology that is practiced today is actually based on the teachings of Pythagoras, the ancient Greek philosopher. Pythagoras was in fact an extraordinary mathematician. However, he was not only interested in solutions that were quantitative. He had a belief that the physical world comprises numbers having energetic vibrations, and it is he who had developed such a system which corresponds with integers with letters. Numerical interconnectivity is what he practiced. However, one does not need to be a mathematics person in order to explore the true magic of numerology. The only thing that is needed to uncover the numbers' mystical properties is a paper, pen, and some basic arithmetic. Extensive numerology report. Numerology free reading. In simple words, a numerology reading is the interpretation of energy that is represented by numbers. Calculations are the foundation of numerology. Through the calculations, numbers are achieved which represent certain energy. Energy is interpreted by a numerologist with the help of the calculations. The person would then be provided with the reading. Readings can also be done with the help of the internet. There is certain software in place which would compile the reading from the numerologist interpretations previously made. Get a numerology report. Depending on what type of reading that you are looking for, whether for a quick personal day, compatibility reading, comprehensive reading, numerology reading today, or just about any other type of reading, you can get a numerology report online. There are free numerology readings online that are available. One thing needs to be kept in mind, and that is, for the best numerology report, accurate and complete information is required. Make sure to provide all the relevant information that is required. Without accurate and complete information, the results of the numerology reading would be somewhat skewed. The information that is provided is used for the calculations, and the calculations offer interpretations. Accurate and complete information. There are different types of readings that are available, and each of these requires a different type of information. Normally, both the person's date of birth and name are required. Some of the readings might even require information about another person. While, on the other hand, there are some which need only non-personal information, such as the telephone number of a street address. Extensive numerology reports require more detailed information. When it comes to birth dates and names, there are special considerations to take into account. Person's name. Whenever the name is required and there are no specific instructions, make sure to provide the full name as has been officially recorded at the time of birth. This means that the name written on the birth certificate should be provided. Even when the name had been misspelled on the birth certificate and had been corrected later, the name that had been first recorded on the birth certificate would be used for the numerological calculations. Exceptions, in case the last name or family name had not been included in the birth certificate. It might still need to be given for the numerological calculations. If the name written on the birth certificate is simply a placeholder, such as a baby boy or baby girl, and intended to be replaced with the real name of the baby later onwards, then only the first official real name would be used for the numerological calculations. The reason why one needs to provide the name that had been first written on the birth certificate unless otherwise instructed is due to the fact that the numerology represents energies through the birth certificate name which remain with the person, although the name gets changed later onwards. Numerology report. When the name gets changed, the new name would have energies that would impact the person. However, the energies associated with the first birth certificate name never disappear entirely. These are just some things which one should keep in mind when reading numerology by name. The birth date. There is only one actual birth date. If the date of birth is wrong on the birth certificate, then you can simply ignore the date on the birth certificate and enter the actual birth date. This rule is followed for numerology reading by date of birth. Now, there is a reason why the actual date of birth needs to be provided, regardless of what the birth certificate might read. However, keep in mind that the birth certificate name would need to be provided regardless. Here is the reason behind the different types of information. The name is simply a human provided label. On the other hand, the date of birth is actually a physical event. The best numerologist. One, you are able to say which numerologist is actually the best as it is a rather subjective determination. Therefore, one might feel comfortable with some and not others. There are different types of numerologists out there. Some are more skilled in interpretation for some aspects of the numerology readings, while others are more skilled when it comes to other aspects. Tips for reading numerology. Remember, the results for both date of birth and name are actually calculated independent of one another. Therefore, a partial reading is obtained even if only one of these is provided. Regardless of what the birth certificate says, enter the correct date of birth. The Gregorian calendar dates are the only one valid as it is the calendar which is most commonly used by everyone. If anyone enters any other calendars such as Julian, then the readings would be inaccurate. Enter the name that is written on the birth certificate, unless there are any instructions which require the married name, current name, nickname, or any other special name to be provided. Name change. If the name that you had has changed, the name at birth would continue to have an influence over you, whether the name had been changed due to marriage or any other reason. The truth is that the amount of influence which the new name has over your life actually depends on how much you feel identified with you. In case the name had only recently been changed, such as within the last year or more, then the new name would only have some influence over you. However, in case more time has passed and you feel that you strongly identify with the current name, then it would have a stronger influence over you. How to calculate the life path number? One of the easiest ways through which one can begin working with numerology is through analysis of their unique birth date. The root number is what numerology focuses on. In order to do this, one would need to reduce the digits until there is only a single digit number that is left. However, the numbers 22 and 11 are excluded, since they are considered to be master numbers. The single digit is what is the life path number of the individual. The life path number is just like the astrological sun sign. It is able to reveal the great purpose that a person has, including their ambitions, talents, weaknesses and strengths. The life path number exposes the reason for your existence and how certain events occur in the future, present and past. It is the key to unlocking your true potential. For instance, your birthday is the 15th of December 1992. In order to calculate the life path number, each of the components would need to be reduced to this single digit date. The year is 1992, which would simply be reduced to 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 2 equals 21. This would be further reduced to 2 plus 1 equals 3. The month is 12, which would be reduced to 1 plus 2 equals 3. The date is 15, which would be reduced to 1 plus 5 equals 6. Then finally, all of the reduced year, date and month numbers would be added, 3 plus 6, and 1 would arrive at 12. Lastly, both 1 plus 2 would be added to reach the number 3. If anyone had been born on the 15th of December 1992, their life path number would be 3. It might seem a bit difficult at first, however, once you write it down as shown above, it would actually become much easier. Master numbers. As mentioned earlier, the only time that one would not reduce the final number is in case they attain an 11 or 22. As these numbers are considered to be master numbers, and they connote a much more intensified version of the root numbers, which are 2 and 4. A higher degree of success, achievement or learning is what master numbers suggest. They are more likely to also suggest a more high-pressure or stressful environment. For instance, let's look at Sir Paul McCartney, who was the most famous Gemini in England. He was born on the 18th of June, 1942, and when his date of birth is reduced, year equals 7, day plus 9, month equals 6, the sum is actually 22. Instead of simplifying the number to achieve the single digit of 4, the number 22 actually reflects the master number. McCartney's life mission is revealed with the higher octane iteration of 4. Letters have numerical values. Numerology can be used to derive the root number of words or names. It was used by Pythagoras. According to the numerology theories proposed by him, there are certain letters that have a specific numerical value. The following shows this: A, J and S equals 1, B, K and T equals 2, C, L and U equals 3, D, M and V equals 4, A, N and W equals 5, F, O and X equals 6, G, P and Y equals 7, G, 1 and Z equals 8, I and R equals 9. Conclusion: if you want to read numerology, then this post is just what you need to read. Share it with your friends or family on social media so that everyone can benefit from the knowledge which numerology provides. Numerology reading is something